Hi drummers, hope you're well. Right, little special request here for channel member Neil. This is a brilliant shout by Neil, a beautiful groove and a beautiful song from one of my all-time favourite artists, honestly. This is Seal, Dreaming in Metaphors. This is a really nice chance to take a second to think about playing in 7/8 as well. The groove goes like this or something like this. So 7/8, what's it all about? Well, I've done a few videos about time signatures and I'll link to those below. You might want to check those out if that's sort of a new idea. The time signature, long story short, gives you information not about the speed of a piece of music, but about how it's counted and how it's felt, the nature of each bar. The top number tells you how many beats are in each bar. So 7 beats in a bar in this case. And the bottom number, that in my experience of both learning the drums and guiding sort of thousands of people through the learning of drums by this point, is the bottom number is the most confusing and the most easily forgotten. The bottom number is what type of note is one beat? What's the note value of each beat? Or in other words, 7 of what? And 8 means eighth notes or quavers. A 4 on the bottom means quarter notes or crotchets. An 8 on the bottom means eighth notes or quavers. And a 16 on the bottom means 16th notes or semi-quavers, and so on. So here we've got 7/8, 7/8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you can, when you play a groove like this, just count up to 7 like that. That's fine. One of the things I like to do, honestly, just being a drummer, I quite like to sort of think in terms of 4/4 wherever that's possible. Something I find really helpful is just thinking about the fact that 7/8 is basically really close to 8/8, isn't it? It's obviously one beat fewer, one count fewer. And 8/8 mathematically is the same as 4/4, isn't it? The most common time signature that we're most used to. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So those, in the space of those 4 quarter notes, you would also get 8 eighth notes. And really what we can do in 7/8 a lot of the time with a groove is think in those terms, and I just think of it as like a bar of 4/4 but with the last eighth note lopped off. So a real simple example of playing in 7/8: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Can you hear there? I'm playing like I would in a bar of straight eighths feel for 4/4, basic rock beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but I'm just leaving off the last and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There we are, we're in 7/8. It doesn't always work like that in 7/8, but in the case of this groove and a lot of grooves, I find myself playing in 7/8 when that happens. That's a pretty good way of doing it, I think. Basically, it's very close to 4/4 with that last note just snipped off, isn't it? So here's the groove here. If I use that kind of count, I'd here go 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E, 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E, 1E and. So again, it's just like 4/4, isn't it? Last little eighth note missing. The ander that would have been there at the end just isn't. That's all. So I'm going to use that sort of count. By the way, the groove that I'm playing here is well, if you listen to the original, it's kind of programmed. There's a lot of programming and production going on. So the groove I'm playing here is the sort of groove that, having listened to a few live versions of this tune, that the drummers that have played with Seal, they play a groove of this nature. It's not note for note, but it's a pretty good basis for the sort of things that they play for this song. So 1E and. Not always, but often, and especially on the original, with an open hi-hat there. 1E and. 1E and. 2E and. Regular closed hi-hat, so 1E and 2E and. 1E and 2E and. Now on 3E and a 4E, 16th notes all the way, 6 of them, ba 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 ba, evenly spaced, hi-hat, kick, hi-hat, kick, hi-hat, kick. 3E and a 4E. So 1E and, followed by 2E and, followed by 3E and a 4E. Just as a little aside, often musicians, when they're thinking of 7 beats in the bar like this, like to further divide those 7 beats into shorter little units, and they often describe a groove like this as 2, 2, 3. There's quite a distinct sort of accent or emphasis in the music on the first hit of the first 2 notes, and then the first hit of the next 2 notes, and the first hit of the next 3, as in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this groove has that feel, doesn't it? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Quite a nice way of thinking of it. But my thing is 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. What I'm going to do here is start real slow with this and work it up a little bit. 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. I'll actually go more slower than that. 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. 1E and 3E and a 4E. 1E and 2E and. And then the fun starts, man. Once you're in the game and you're playing that lovely 7/8 notes in the bar feel and it's rolling a little bit, well, then you can have a ton of fun with a tune like this. Beautiful, man. Just what a joyous thing to have in your life. And when you're a musician, if you get to the point where you can sort of reliably play in 7 like that, put on a beautiful tune like that, and you can just experiment. There's tunes like that whole album is just a beautiful drum practice along album. You can work on your 7/8, playing the groove of that sort. See if you can get in and out of some simple drum fills that keep that feel of 7 going. Remember, you can count 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. 1E and 2E and 3E and a 4E. Or you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or, like I said, you could even count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But it's all about feel, man, getting that going. If you can play that and that all makes sense, great. If not, I always think it's a cool thing to get into anyway, like, these sort of so-called odd or unusual time signatures. So you could always simplify the groove. You could always just play something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or maybe leave the bass drums out altogether after the first one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 Just something, man. Like, the great thing about drum grooves is you can always simplify, can't you? I just think it's never too early, assuming that you've got, you understand sort of 4/4 and you've got a feel for that. It's never too early to start thinking about these slightly different time signatures, which, remember, are nothing to do with tempo, speed, and everything to do with how the bar is counted and felt and the pulse in the music. So I thought it was a really great shout by Neil, a beautiful song. I haven't listened to that album in a while, but I'll be listening to it again now because I just absolutely love it. It's one of my all-time favourite drum albums, even though there's not all acoustic drums on there, but it's still one of my all-time favourite drum albums, and certainly one of my all-time favourite artists and drum artists. So great shout by Neil, and a beautiful groove to have a play around with. Thanks for watching as always, really appreciate it, and please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Cheers.